Hi there, everybody. Welcome back to 3 News Now. I'm Stephanie Haney, and today is Monday, June 21st. Thanks for being here for the top stories from WKYC.com and our WKYC app. The good news right now is we had some severe weather today, but it seems to be clearing out of the Northeast Ohio area. But the bad news is there's definitely some cleaning up to do. Severe thunderstorms made their way through several counties in the area, bringing high winds and hail, causing power outages and damage. First Energy reports that as of 2 p.m. today, more than 11,000 Northeast Ohio customers are currently without power. The Northeast Ohio counties that are most affected are Cuyahoga County, Lake County, Portage County, and Mahoning County. Right now, there is a severe thunderstorm watch until 8 p.m. for the following counties: Ashtabula, Carroll, Columbiana, Coshocton, Geauga, Holmes, Lake, Mahoning, Portage, Stark, Summit, Trumbull, Tuscarawas, and Wayne. We will bring you the latest on WKYC.com as well as on our broadcasts this evening. Now, here in Northeast Ohio, with school out for the summer, that can leave a lot of children without knowing where their lunches may come from, because that is a source of a meal for many children. Well, this summer, locations across Northeast Ohio are joining the U.S. Department of Agriculture's Summer Food Service Program. That includes the Cuyahoga County Public Library. The Cuyahoga County Public Library is working with the Greater Cleveland Food Bank. What they'll do is they'll distribute free grab-and-go bagged lunches to kids ages 18 and under throughout the summer. Now, we've got a list of those locations at the Cuyahoga County Public Library on WKYC.com, and the hours for pickup do vary by location, so check that out. And if you live outside of Cuyahoga County, you can search for a list of locations where those grab-and-go lunches are available to be picked up. We have a link to a searchable database and a map of where those lunches are on WKYC.com. Now let's take a look at the latest COVID-19 numbers. First, let's start with Ohio. The Ohio Department of Health today reports 123 new COVID-19 cases in the last day. That's a number that's on the lower side of the ones that we've been seeing. But remember, we do typically see an especially lower number on Monday because of limited reporting over the weekends. There have been 39 new hospitalizations related to COVID in the last day, with 319 people currently in the hospital being treated for COVID, 92 of those people being treated in the ICU, and we've seen 4 new ICU admissions in the last day. Looking at the number of people vaccinated as the country tries to get to that goal of 70% of Americans by July 4th, which is looking like it might not be possible for President Joe Biden. But here in Ohio, more than 43% of people are completely vaccinated. That's more than 5 million people, almost 8,000 people getting completely vaccinated in the last day. More than 47% of Ohioans have started the vaccination process, getting their first shot of either the Moderna or the Pfizer vaccine. That's more than 5.5 million Ohioans, and more than 3,000 getting that first shot in the last day. Now remember, this week is the last Vax-A-Million drawing, and if you haven't entered yet, you cannot enter because the deadline is Sunday at 11:59 p.m., but we will have that final drawing on Channel 3 at 7:29 p.m. on Wednesday. Globally, these numbers come from Johns Hopkins University. There have been a total of 178,602,416 reported COVID-19 cases, and the U.S. has 18.8% of those cases, down another tenth of a percentage point, with 33,545,926 reported cases. Globally, there have been 3,868,228 reported COVID-19 deaths. And in the U.S., we have 15.6% of those deaths, with 601,903. Now, experts are now saying that young people should be particularly worried about the Delta variant of COVID-19. This is according to an expert. Dr. Amesh Adalha of Johns Hopkins Center for Health Security says the Delta variant is infecting people right now who are not vaccinated, and that tends to be younger people right now. The doctor said that in the populations that are unvaccinated and don't have any natural immunity from prior infection, that we're likely to see this take hold and spread and become the major strain, just like we saw happen in the United Kingdom, and that the Delta variant is really a concern for people who are not vaccinated. That makes this an urgent problem because it's completely solvable, according to the doctor. The doctor says the solution is in our hands. getting vaccinated is a lot of protection against that Delta variant. And it is highly contagious and it is on the rise. This was first discovered in India. It's now spread to at least 42 states. That's according to Centers for Disease Control Director Dr. Rochelle Walensky. She says it's expected to become the dominant variant here in the U.S., and it's around 60% more contagious than the Alpha variant, which is what was previously referred to as the UK variant. That's the one that was emerging and was very prominent in the United Kingdom. Now, as we talk about people getting vaccinated and we talk about things opening back up, we're probably getting a lot more invitations to things than we were in the past, because for more than a year now, we've all been told, stay home, do your part, keep people safe, don't spread COVID-19. Well, now things are opening up because more and more people are getting vaccinated, and then we've now pivoted to a situation where officials are saying things will be open. You need to do your part. You need to make the choice to get vaccinated. Well, as that happens, we'll get more and more invitations to things, and it can be tempting to say yes to every single invitation that comes your way, but that is not always a good idea. That's what I talked about this week on my 3 Things to Know with Stephanie Haney podcast. I talked with a ThriveWorks therapist. Her name is Victoria Reardon, and she is a licensed therapist, a licensed counselor here in Ohio. She talks about why it's important to say no to things and how to do it with grace and kindness, but also how to do it with not necessarily feeling like you have to explain yourself, but if you want to explain yourself, how to do that in a gracious way. She also talks about why we feel guilt sometimes when we have to say no to things, and how fear of missing out, or FOMO, plays into all of this, and how not saying no to things can really leave us feeling depleted and in need of recharging. Now, also, every week on the podcast, I tell you what you need to know in NEO, and this week we talk about what you can do, what you need to know in NEO if you just want to stay home and recharge, and how you can support a local person who is doing something pretty great while you're at home. And also, each week we give you a good follow. This week's good follow is Gabe Wasilko. He is incredible on Twitter. Beautiful photos that you won't want to miss. I talk more about on the podcast. So again, check that out. You can also find it linked at wkyc.com/3 things to know. Now let's talk about reasons why the Cleveland Cavaliers should consider a Ben Simmons trade. This comes from our 3 News sports analyst, Ben Axelrod. If you were paying attention to the NBA playoffs this weekend, you know that the Philadelphia 76ers lost to the Atlanta Hawks in Game 7 of the Eastern Conference semifinals. That happened on Sunday, so people immediately started speculating about Ben Simmons' future in Philadelphia. So our Ben Axelrod talked through 5 reasons that the Cavs should consider trading to get Ben Simmons. Here's 2 of those reasons. One of those just being pure talent. Simmons has been named to 3 consecutive All-Star games, 2 NBA All-Defensive First Teams, and the All-NBA Third Team in 2020. He's 24 years old and arguably one of the most accomplished young players in the league right now. And then you factor in star power. Ben brings up the point that barring LeBron James deciding that he wants to come back to Cleveland, the avenues for the Cavaliers to get some star power on the squad are kind of limited, and Simmons coming to the team would bring star power that the Cavs have lacked since James left for Los Angeles in 2018. For more on the reasons why the Cavs should consider a Ben Simmons trade, head to wkyc.com and read that full article from our Ben Axelrod. Now, we have a series on WKYC called Beyond the Dugout. Usually, it's Go morning anchor Dave Chudowski, but we've got pinch hitter Nick Camino, one of our sports reporters, filling in this week, and he talks with the Tribe's president, Chris Antonetti, about a lot of things. He's on the hot seat this week. He's 46 years old. He's been a member of the Tribe franchise for 23 years. He became the president in 2016, and as general manager back in 2013, he helped reshape the franchise that began with hiring manager Terry Francona. Well, Antonetti and his wife Sarah, they live in Rocky River with their daughters Maya and Ella, and Camino asked him, just some questions to get to know him a little better. One of the questions he asked him was, what makes him go? And that answer was really easy for Antonetti. He said that's his family. They're at the center of his world, and combining that with his job doesn't leave a lot of time for a whole lot else, but you have to say that Sarah and his 2 girls, Maya and Ella, are what get him up and going in the morning. Other things they talked about were their family's favorite takeout meal during the pandemic and who he would choose to have dinner with if he could pick anyone in the world. So you got to watch that video. That's on wkyc.com right now. And Here's something to keep your eye out for. You know Al Roker. He was here at WKYC for quite a few years, and now he is the meteorologist on the Today Show. Well, he's in the middle of his Roker-a-thon, and it's featuring 3 News' Holly Strano. What he's doing is he's trying to break a Guinness Book World Record for the longest forecast. So this would be forecasting your best summer ever, trying to set a world record for the most people in an online weather reporting video relay live. So 50 NBC affiliates, more than 50 across the country, are joining him, and they're doing live national weather reporting. Here in Cleveland, 3 News' Holly Strano forecasted live from the flats, giving the latest about Northeast Ohio. The initial Roker-a-thon took place in November 2014, and he broke the Guinness Book World Record for the longest uninterrupted live TV weather report that lasted for 34 hours. Roker is pretty good at breaking these records. Since then, he's set the title for the fastest time to report a weather forecast from all 50 U.S. states and the District of Columbia. He visited 5 college campuses in 5 days to help college students break other Guinness Book of World Records titles. And then last year, he set the record for most people in a virtual sandwich-making relay. So you can check out Holly's appearance in the Roker-a-thon on WKYC.com, and you can see the full Roker-a-thon as well in a video that's embedded in that story. All right, that's it for your 3 News Now update today for Monday, June 21st. I'll see you next up on What's New with your trending stories in the Clicking in Cleveland segment, and I will see you back here tomorrow for more 3 News Now.